This video is going to go through the process of an activity analysis, and basically what this does is it analyzes the demands of the activity as well as what's needed from the person doing the task. So today my client's going to be paying their electric bill. They'll be doing that electronically since I know that's how a lot of people pay their bills now. And the reason why this is important and has meaning to my client is because they want to establish an independent living situation and not have to rely on family or others to support them in this task, as well as it's important to establish a routine for my client to get into every month and know when that bill needs to be paid. So the space demands of this task is pretty simple. They basically just need a desk or a flat surface to sit at and a place to put their laptop. And with this task of paying an electric bill, there are a sequence of steps that need to be followed. So the first thing would be to gather materials. The client needs to have their electric bill on hand to know how much they need to pay. They need their laptop, any bank account information, like their routing number or their account number if that's not already set in the computer. They need their username and password for the website, as well as a credit card to be able to type in their information and pay the bill. So once the client has all those materials gathered, they can then sit down and turn on their computer as the second step. And the third step would be to type in the company name into their browser and then sign in with their username and password to allow them access into the website. The fifth step would be to click on a button that says Pay My Bill. That will direct the client to a page where they can fill out all of their information. The fifth step would be to type in the amount that's being paid that day into the bar that's provided. And then below they could add their routing number and their account number if that's not already established into the computer, as well as add in their credit card information to be able to pay that total amount. And the last step would be to press submit, and those were about 8 steps total, depending on how you chunk them. And to do this task, it requires a variety of performance skills on the client's end, one of them being fine motor, of course, to be able to type in the information. And they need to be able to have adequate processing in order to navigate the website and knowing what button to click or knowing the correct information that they're typing into the computer and knowing that they're doing that correctly. There's also a social aspect to it. You know, there's etiquette in being able to pay a bill on time, and that's important in establishing independence, is being able to have responsibility in paying, for example, paying your bill without someone having to remind you or without people having to send you a late notice and things like that. There's also a variety of body functions and structures that go along with this activity. One of them being memory. It's important for the client to know their password or their banking information, knowing when the amount's due, how much is due, things like that. Adequate vision would be needed to see the computer screen, as well as seeing what you're typing into the computer. You would need a decent amount of upper body range of motion, including in the hands, neck, trunk to support yourself sitting up, as well as proprioception for typing. Know how hard you're typing on the keys, where your hands are, things like that, as well as stress management and regulation, which might not be the first thing that pops to mind, but it's important because the client needs to be able to manage their stress or their emotions if, for example, the website is confusing and they can't figure it out, or if their computer freezes, if they're having difficulty navigating the website, things like that. Emotion regulation is important for that reason. So those are all the things that go into an activity analysis. And this is just one example, paying an electric bill.